It's just me and a camera and all of you. Alright, so it's been a while. Hello and goodbye, March. You were maybe the worst month of my life. So as monotonous it is to keep saying things like this, this one took the cake. So we're just gonna, April, let's just start fresh. And I'm so ready for March to be over, I'm doing my goodbye March before March has ended. But mostly because I actually have some books that I did buy because this was spring break this week, so I actually was able to go forth into the world and get some books at the bookstore. So let's just do this. This is gonna be a quick one because, yeah, March, hey, how you doing? Alright, so I had heard a lot about Milk and Honey. I did pick this up and I pretty much gobbled it up in one sitting the other week. Well, actually no, that was just last week. So I gobbled it up last week. Really good. It's worth all the hype that you've been hearing about, and I am an absolute sucker for poetry. My grad school era was pretty much, let's see how much I can gobble up. So it was nice to come back and read some of it, and it actually has inspired me to pick this back up, that is poetry reading, and give myself a little recharge time with that, so it might be well needed. Bargain bin at Target, I think I got this for like $7 or $8, A Study in Charlotte. Subtitle, You've Never Seen Watson and Holmes Like This Before. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm a couple of chapters into it, and then I found out it was a trilogy, and then I lost all interest. You guys know how I feel about trilogies. I feel like they're just being forced too much lately. I mean, if it's a series, fine. If it's 1, 2, 3, whatever. But jamming it instantly into a trilogy, I'm not gonna rush into that one. I'm not interested now. Maybe if it was just the one and then one-offs here and there, but trilogies. Barnes & Noble bargain bin, it was $6.98, and the day after when I was at Ollie's, it was at Ollie's for $2, so I got sucker punched at Barnes & Noble. The Vacationers, this one, I don't know anything really about any of the books that I got, so you're just gonna sort of have to bear with me. I bought all of these because I liked the covers. There we go. There's an artist, graphic designer way to purchase things. This one looked interesting. Why don't I read you a bit of it? For the Posts, a 2-week trip to the Balearic island of Mallorca with their family and friends is a celebration. Franny and Jim are observing their 35th wedding anniversary. Their daughter Sylvia, who has just graduated from high school. The Sunlit Island, its mountains and beaches, also assure an escape from the tensions simmering at home in Manhattan, and it promises to be nothing short of perfection. Surprise, surprise, it's probably not perfection. Nothing is. Just kidding. Hey March, you've been great. So I've been looking at that one for a while when it was at regular price, so when it was on sale at Barnes & Noble I couldn't resist. I do sort of wish I went to Ollie's first and saved a couple extra dollars. Essays by Sloane Crosley. It's called I Was Told There'd Be Cake. I got this at a used bookstore. And it's just, I'm only, I think, one of the short stories into it. It was only $3 on one of the bargain bins. But so far, so good. I really like where this one's heading. I think this might be in the same sort of parallel as the poetry, a little bit more bite-sized reading nuggets instead of giant, epic novels. Yeah, I'm looking at you trilogies, which I do have another trilogy in this pile, so there we go. Let's just get to it. So this looks good, bite-sized. I think I can handle those right now because I'm really, really stressed, so let's just go for a short, sweet, and to the point, which is not this one. Golden Sun, this is book 2 of the Red Rising trilogy. Now, I did do a review on the book 1, I don't know when it's been. I think it's probably been like 2 years ago, 2 or 3. I can't remember offhand. I'll try to put the link in the description below. I actually really, really loved Red Rising, but it's also been a couple of years and I completely lost the thread of the story. So I'm actually, and this one's one of those, you know, how sometimes some trilogies spend like a chapter 2 and they try to catch you up. This one doesn't, apparently. You just jump right into it. So my biggest regret is reading the first one when it actually came out, which sounds weird. This is why I actually have not delved into the Game of Thrones, because I want them all, because I have a feeling I'll just go through all of them in one sitting. That was probably thanks to Harry Potter, and you know how that was. We had to wait and wait and wait, and we're like, I wish I had waited on these and then just picked up all 3 at once, and then just had a nice little marathon some weekend. I was so excited when I saw this. It was at the Curious Iguana in Frederick, but I absolutely forget what's going on, so I hope I didn't lose steam for it. I doubt it. I'm just gonna have to, I have 2 options: just go with it and hope that my memory sort of clicks in at some point, or I'm just gonna have to like go back to Red Rising and maybe read the last 3 or 4 chapters and then restart this one to just sort of get back into that flow. And that being said, if I get halfway through this relatively soon, I'm buying the 3rd so I can just keep going. So that's, yeah, we know how I know about trilogies. We know how I feel about it. But I did really like those. They were really mythologically oriented with a sort of futuristic twist, if that makes sense. So if you're into mythology and future stuffs, that one might be a good trilogy for you to pick up. Another bargain bin, this is Warcraft's Jaina Proudmoore Tides of War. I pretty much have all of these, but I hadn't grabbed this one for some reason. I think I went from Thrall to Vol'jin and just ignored. I don't like the Alliance. Just kidding if you play. No, I'm not kidding. I don't like the Alliance. So I feel like, though, because I do play the game, when Legion came out, I feel like I was missing some of the bits, and the stories tend to fill them in. So, hey, Tides of War, Jaina, let's see what's going on with that one. So it should be interesting. And one more on the fluffy bits, and then we have 2 that aren't as fluffy. Eloisa James, there's this one, Target, also on the bargainy bin with extra 15 off. And I think it's still there right now, 7 Minutes in Heaven. I feel like her books are either a hit or miss, and you either really love it or you're just kind of about it. I love this one. This was one sitting. I'm about over 3/4 through it, and I plan on banging the rest of it out this evening. I have laughed so much in this book. So if you like the historical romance with a sort of sharp-edged wit heroine and hero, that one is the one for you. It is so, there are some parts, I don't want to spoil any of it for you if you're interested, but it is hysterical. Her name is Eugenia Snow, and she runs a sort of governess business, and then he has sort of inherited his half-brother and sister who are really bad, let's put it that way. They are stinkers, and they've gone through 2 of her governesses, which has never apparently, it's just never happened before, so she has to go forth and set things right. And yeah, it's really funny. It's a good lighthearted lark, and it's exactly what I need. Hey, thanks March, you've been great. The 4 Agreements, I am almost halfway through this. It's a Toltec wisdom book. I feel like this is one of those books probably everyone out there who, you know, is interested in self-improvement, betterment, etc. has read. And I'm liking it so far, but it's one of those books that even though it's a really little one, little like size-wise, it's around 140 pages, I want to actually just take my time, and I've been going segment by segment with it and really trying to absorb it rather than my usual chomp, 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 chomp. So that one has been, you know, quite interesting. And last but certainly not least, Aaron Lochner's Chasing Slow, Courage to Journey Off the Beaten Path. This has been really interesting, and I went sort of crazy with my little marks of things that I wanted to remember in this one. I forget what does she run? She had a blog, and I just forgot it. I'll try to put it here. Design for Mankind. Yay, I don't have to put it there because I don't know how to do those anymore. And then ended up selling it, so it was Design for Mankind, and it's sort of, I think it's a perfect message for right now when everything seems to be spiraling, and, you know, the world is sort of bombarding us, and it's taking us sort of aside and making us, not want to check the news, and I don't really feel like logging into Facebook, etc. What happens if you have like a perfectly curated Instagram life and your life is not a perfectly Instagram curation? So I've really loved this. It's her whole sort of XYZ journey from school and onward, with memoirs and stories, etc. I read it in 2 nights, and I did gobble it, but it's one of those that I knew I'd be that I would be picking up again. But I have a couple people I want to give this to. I usually don't loan out my books, but I feel like it has the messages that we sort of need right now to just calm down, slow down, and stop trying to live the perfect Instagram life. It does not exist. So that was my March. At least purchase-wise, and like I had said in my last video, I really haven't been buying too many, so it felt really good to just get out to a bookstore again, maybe a sort of self-initiated buying ban, even though it didn't, I didn't purposely set out to do that. I feel like it maybe helped because I felt more interested in looking at the stores instead of just like, ugh, I gotta get some books. And I've been visiting libraries and such instead, so mix it up a little bit. So mix it up, March. Goodbye, March. I never want to see you again. This March, yeah, it just needs to go. April, welcome. I'm already trying to pull you in closer just to get, one step away from March. And then one step closer to summer, which maybe on top of the craziness that happened, I don't think the weather's helping either. You all know I loathe winter, so maybe I need to start looking into warmer climate living. I don't know. But anyway, March, goodbye, good riddance, and I hope everyone's March was better, and that you've gotten a lot done and had lots of books that you have discovered. And since I'm basically out of the loop with our bookstores, do you have any recommendations? Because summer is coming, thank God, and I am going to need a massive stockpile for my summer reading. So if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.